Oh, we're at 11:11 now. How's that?
You must watch the clock.
We're at Adam's Calendar, guys.
Then you say,
There it is. This is Enos, our tour guide.
Okay, listen to me.
Paula and Annie.
Say that. And I promise you, Betty, we share the money we made today. Me and you with a YouTube video. Okay. Okay.
Let me stick to Enos.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me stick to Enos.
Okay.
Enos? Okay, nou Jean-Marie, kan ons net gou-gou 'n voorbekans gee om net vir ons 'n storie te vertel, want hy sou nou onder
Adam's Calendar, also known as Inzalo Yelanga, which means the birthplace of the sun, but not necessarily meaning the sun as in the source of light.
Yes.
Sun as S-O-N, which is the sons of the gods.
The child of God.
Is the place of our ancestors where humanity was created.
It's all true.
At the gate, we actually gonna see a rock that was removed from here. We normally call that rock the Stone Man because of the way that rock is carved, but it's not natural. It's not the natural erosion of the rock, yet that rock erodes. It erodes in two ways, which is water and sand erosion. That will kind of get this rock rough and bumpy, like as you see in some of the rocks here. Yeah. Then secondly, it flakes off, or it peels off like onion peels, as you can see here.
Okay,
some of the, that's basically how this type of rock erodes. Now the type of this rock is what we call dolerite. So there's a difference between dolerite and dolomite. Dolerite is a magnetic rock, it is a volcanic rock. It comes through from below. Then dolomite is something else beside it. Now what you see at the edge of the cliff here is what we call black reef quartzite, which is the bedrock of this whole area. Basically, or geologically speaking, Kaapsehoop itself is sitting on a black reef quartzite, which makes this dolerite foreign to this area. So we started looking for a natural dolerite patch, and outside of the reserve we find a small dolerite intrusion that we assumed that whoever built this structure harvested the rocks from there and he brought it within and stashed it to where we call it the workshop and started carving shapes like the Stone Man. Now what is interesting about the dolerite is that dolerite is magnetic. It has got that kind of energy that it produces. Yeah. For instance, if you cut through a dolerite, you find it has got these shiny metals that we call silica.
Silicon.
And silica is your main ingredient when you are making a glass.
Yes, yes.
That's why it has got these resonating capabilities. Now, the Stone Man at the gate, as I said, it was removed from here by the people of the forestry company in 1992, and it laid in their workshop for about 2 years. They only brought it within the reserve and planted it where it's standing now in 1994.
Okay.
Now, as I said, that dolerite is magnetic. That's the reason why they actually wanted to use dolerite. And dolerite is the third hardest rock after diamond and granite. But the reason why they needed this is because it's magnetic.
Yes.
Did they take it to test it or anything, or did they actually take
How to discover the energy in it?
Your compass doesn't work well here.
Yes.
Even in the site itself, some GPSs don't work.
It does affect electronics.
Two GPSs in your both hands, and they will give you two different coordinates of the same spot.
Yes.
So we couldn't understand it back then, but Michael has discovered that the electromagnetic fields around here actually goes in two directions. Okay. Firstly, if you come from outside to the circle, all the way into the circle here, they go like horizontally and clockwise. But once you stand between these two calendar stones, they start spinning from the ground up and clockwise straight up. That's what we generally term as the double toroid vortex of energy. Yes. That's what sometimes might confuse your compass. But now, if it's a magnetic compass, yes, I agree, it does supposed to get confused. Yes. But even with a GPS-based compass, it still gets confused, which we can't understand it yet. Now, the Stone Man at the gate, we've got an African shaman by the name of Credo Mutwa. Credo Muta was initiated in this very same area in 1936 at the age of 16 as a young shaman.
Yes.
Now he was the one who actually told us the Zulu name for this area, which is Inzalo Yelang, meaning the birthplace of the sun. And he confirms that this is where humanity was created.
Yes.
That's true,
And the
because
first-
I'm also getting goosebumps.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, further than that, that stone man, he doesn't call it the stone man like we do.
Yes.
He calls it the clitoris of Mother Earth. Basically meaning where the heavens mated with Mother Earth and the first people were created.
Amazing.
DNA,
Amazing.
that matter-
Amazing.
We don't know how they were created, but when you come to that area with the tree over there,
Yes.
that's where the stone altar is.
Okay.
I will show you on our way out. That stone altar, also Credo Muta confirmed
Yes.
that that stone altar is actually built on top of an ancient king's grave.
Wow.
Now, we started looking for some information who that king might be.
Yes.
And Michael ended up bumping into the Sumerian clay tablet that talks about the Anunnakis that came from planet Nibiru to mine gold on planet Earth. And basically, one of the guys who was in charge
Yes.
was from a royal family,
Yes.
ruled by a king called Anu, and his wife was Antu. That's basically where the word Abantu started from.
Oh wow.
But Anu was to be dethroned in planet Nibiru as a king, so they chose his younger son, which was Enki, to be the next king. But the elder brother, who was Enlil, got so angry.
Yeah.
Yes, he was so angry that he stole one of the most advanced spaceships and started traveling through the planet. He accidentally landed to planet Earth and found out that planet Earth was gold abundant, and they needed gold to fix their ozone layer because they experienced what we can call global warming. Now, they put Enki in charge of the gold that he didn't discover in the first place, and that got Enlil even angry.
Anger.
Now, looking at the younger brother, the responsible one, the miner,
Yeah.
that guy had 3 sons.
Yes.
He had a lot of sons, but the Sumerian tablet actually talks about basically 3 sons.
Marduk.
The Marduk, yes.
Yes.
Then the second one, who was a scientist, I can't pronounce the name,
Yeah.
but it's Niasandru or something.
Yes.
something
Yes.
Like that. And the last guy, who was actually just a lover boy, according to what I could understand.
Yeah.
Dumuzi, yes.
Yes.
He was just a lover boy because he got involved with this beautiful lady called Inanna or Ishtar. Some people actually name him. And they were so much in love that you can now simply term them as
Wow.
the Romeo and Juliet of the Sumerian times.
Wow.
Now, his siblings, and Dumuzi as well, was not a true Anunnaki
Okay.
because he was half Anunnaki and
Half man.
Earthling, because he was derived from the Earthlings that the Anunnakis had
Sure.
actually created.
It's a hybrid.
Exactly. So
Yes.
when he was still involved with Inanna, his brothers were so much jealous that they actually wanted to separate the couple. And they ended up bringing some female Anunnakis, and they seduced Dumuzi. Dumuzi's conscience got better of him, and he ended up running close to a cliff, and he fell down and died and broke his neck. But instead of his aunt, who was Enki's sister, who could revive people from the dead,
Wow.
using 2 rods that he rubs together, just like we're doing today when somebody just collapses now. We
Yes.
take him and then
Yes.
we try and that's what
Yes.
her aunt was capable of
Oh,
back
yes.
in the Anunnaki's time.
Yes.
But because she was still in the process of separating these two,
Yeah.
he never resurrected Dumuzi.
Oh.
So the position in which Dumuzi was buried always looks like what we have over there. Because according to Zachariah Sitchin's translations from
Yes.
the Sumerian tablet,
Yes.
he talks about a place called Deep Abzu.
Yes.
The word Abzu is APZ, which
bottom
is
earth.
below the equator. And
Yes.
Deep Abzu reverses to even further south, which could be South Africa or Zimbabwe.
It is here.
It is.
Now, what happened, they ordered Inanna to take Dumuzi's body back to Nibiru, but she refused and said, I'm going to bury my boyfriend right in the deep house, because
Wow.
she was born on
Earth.
On Earth.
Yes.
Yes, she was born on Earth. And the position where Dumuzi was buried resembles what we have here. According to the Sumerian tablets, Inanna took Dumuzi's body into the deep Abzu and buried here near his father's special place, close to a cliff, under a pile of stones, facing
Wow.
the Twin Peaks.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
In the land of the black people.
Yes.
That's what the Sumerian tablets, and
Yeah.
we have everything like
We
that.
are here.
But Michael didn't just fully accepted that at that time.
Okay.
He actually wanted to get more evidence.
Yes.
He brought like 17 to 20 different psychics that never met each other, and he brought them on different occasions.
Yes.
And they all could sense a lot of things around the stone altar, but they ended up confirming one similar thing.
Yes.
A 12 feet tall body that is buried there facing the rising sun.
Uh-huh.
Now a 12 feet tall person is almost
Giant.
a 3.8 to a 4 meter tall person.
Yeah,
It
it's
could be
giant compared to
So
us.
you can start thinking of the Nephilims
Yes.
and the rest that actually came and hybrided with the people on Earth. And he's facing the Twin Peaks. That's where the pyramids are.
Yes.
And we are in the land of the black people. But Michael also brought the latest technology that we have today, which
Yes.
is the infrared camera.
Okay.
The infrared camera will work with heat signature. If the place is disturbed, the heat signature will be
Yes.
different from the untouched
Sure.
area. So it picked up some sort of a 3 meter tall structure that is buried 3 meters deep. Recently, what Michael did, he actually cut one of the branches from the trees growing out of the stone altar
Yes.
for scientific analysis.
Uh-huh.
They will run tests as to which minerals are being absorbed by the tree underneath.
Amazing.
If there are any human remains, they will be revealed in the results, and then we know for sure there's a human being. It's just a matter of somehow trying to find the bones and then date them.
Yeah.
Then if it's Dumuzi's bones, they should be giant human-alike bones, and they should not be older than, let's say, 18,000 years, because the Sumerian tablet says Dumuzi died soon after the floods, which
Yes.
was the last floods, 16, 17, 18,000 years back. But
Okay.
should we find normal human bones like mine and yours, then Baba Credo Mota is talking about a local chief
Yes.
that is buried there.
Okay.
Now, where does the 3 meter tall structure come from nowadays?
Yes.
In most kingdoms, African kingdoms, you never first bury your king lying down. You have to stand him up or sit him down.
Oh.
Secondly, you always bury your king with his advisor.
Oh, wow.
If you are a king's advisor,
You go with him.
you go with him so
Like
that
Zayn.
he's just keeping the information
With him.
with them.
Yes.
Goes with the information. So if I was this tall and my advisor was this tall, imagine if he was standing on top of me.
Yes.
I'm standing as well. That will amount to the 3 meter structure that the infrared camera picked up. So we still need to find out whether that's the situation.
Wow.
But Michael actually had this photo of this 3 meter tall thing.
Wow.
How does it look like?
Wow.
Don't you think this is 3 meters?
No, higher,
A
higher,
little bit shorter.
A
higher.
little bit shorter. If you look at how tall are you yourself?
Yeah, no, I know. 2 meters is about the door. Ne?
And I don't think they will bury a dead man with his hand rising up.
No, they won't.
You see, so
Maybe if you stand on that stone, you lift your hands up like that, maybe you can be 3 meters long.
yeah, that's the heat signature that actually picked up. But as far as I know, you never bury your king lying
But
down.
there's the
Okay.
tablets.
Amazing. Amazing.
So if it's a local chief, that's what I said earlier, that if it's in the local, like in the Sumerian times, it's Dumuzi. Dumuzi will be just buried alone. He was never a king, he was from a royal family,
Yeah.
not a king himself. But if it's local, like let me say 500 years back or so, then your king will have to bury it with your advisor. So be warned, if you are a king's advisor, make sure that you outlive your king.
Yeah.
The king outlives you, because you'll be buried
With him.
with him, dead or alive. You're gonna die once your king dies.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you now something else.
Okay, just to conclude, this site here, as I said, it's in Zaloyanga. From an aerial shot, you can see that this place is a circle. It starts from there,
Yeah.
and it goes all around here,
Yeah.
all around here. And under that tree there,
Yeah.
the rock that is split open now,
Yes.
is our southern marker.
Okay.
Further straight down, I'll take you down to that side where I'll show you 4 rocks. One of them is what we call Horus, or the Egyptian bed, or the Zimbabwean bed. It also marks as our eastern marker.
Okay.
We normally call him Ra. And who is Ra?
Sun god.
Ra is Marduk. Marduk
Okay.
is the sun god.
Yeah.
Because Marduk, during the Sumerian tablet, helped develop Egypt a lot. They ended up calling him Ra.
Yeah.
Now you come along the side, under this tree here, you find this rock, this flat rock. That's our northern marker.
Yeah.
And where she is standing, that's where they took the stoneman out, and he was also standing here as the western marker. But the main purpose of the stoneman here was not only to stand here as the western marker so that the stoneman would be looking at the sunrise only.
Okay.
But he was some sort of an energy receiver from other ancient sites.
Oh.
So that if he receives the energy from there, he will transmit the energy into the 2 main calendar stones that act as 2 vibrating plates. So that if one stands between these 2 rocks, it's like standing in the vortex of light that shoots from the ground in an ice cream cone shape.
Yeah.
Should there be any need for any energy anywhere else, he will extract the energy from the calendar and pinpoint it to exactly where it's needed. That was the main purpose of the stoneman in the calendar, rather than just to be the sunrise, the sunset, or the sunrise.
Wow.
Exactly. So, but before you come in here, as I said, I'll show you 4 rocks. The 3 of them are the ones that will have been in line with the 3 rising stars of Orion's belt and the Horus as well.
Wow.
Prior to any religion, the ancient Abantu people worshipped things like the moon, the stars, and the sun. That's why they would have put something like that, so that it will look straight to the sky and look to their gods. Now, according to Credo as well, there used to be a path that ran from the stone altar all the way to here. It was called a ceremonial path or a ritual path. If there were any activities or rituals or ceremonies held here, you first stop over there, ask for some sort of a permission to come in here and do whatever ceremony that you do.
Okay.
And you use that path as a pilgrimage. But you never entered this area anyhow. You have to at least enter it from the south.
Okay.
Why? Because, as I said, the ancient people, directions meant different things to them.
Okay.
Your initiation or anything has to happen on the northern side of any sacred place, not only Adam's calendar, any sacred place. So basically you'll have walked there and entered somewhere around the southern part. Because north to them, directions meant a lot of them. North to them actually represented north as in the direction, and it represented also up the sky where our creators came from, or Pezulu, up the sky where our creators came from. Then down will be down as in south, south will be like south as in the direction, and it also represented down where our ancestors are. That's why it's not some sort of a strange thing when you see African people, when they're talking to their ancestors, they kneel down and face down, facing to the south, talking to their ancestors. While they are praying, they'll normally stand up or kneel down, but facing upwards to their gods.
Yes.
And then, as I said, east, they were worshipping things like the moon, the stars. That's where our sun rises, and that's where our God comes up to look over us.
Yes.
Then west, you never bury an African person with his head facing anywhere except west.
Oh.
The tombstones, anything should be on the west, so that if he rises up, his face will be looking directly
to the sun.
To the east or to the gods where they rise up. That's basically what direction meant to the people. And even nowadays, some people are using that strategy, that people don't sleep well when their head is facing this way. Sometimes he feels better if he's facing it according to how
to the east, where the sun rises.
Exactly.
Yes.
People are still using it up to today.
Yeah.
Then basically you would go in there, and you go in some sort of a maze or something because it looks like it's a circle inside a circle inside a circle.
Yeah.
Looking at the outer circle here, just where she is standing, there's a line of rocks behind you all the way with a stone man over here. It looks like it's an inner circle.
Yeah.
And straight down here, there's another line of rock which could be the third circle.
Yeah.
So you will enter in the entrance that is yet to find, then go into in some sort of a maze, go into the initiation place over there, and then you come from there, get into the two main calendar stones, and then you'll march outside the southerly direction as well. But before you even reach there, you will have crossed 3 important lines.
Yes.
So if we can come now inside there, I will show you the 3 important lines. Then from there, I will take you to the 4 rocks. From there, you will, if you want to sit around in any of the rocks, you can sit there and meditate as much as you feel it's still necessary. Okay, before you reach into the calendar stones, as I said, you will have crossed excuse me, 3 important lines. The first line that you will have crossed will be our summer solstice line. If we are standing here looking at the sunset on the 21st of December, the sun will be rising from the east as usually, and the sun will be sitting right between that big rock, a small tree, and a smaller rock. That's the longest day of the year. And standing here on the 21st of September, which is our spring equinox,
Yes.
sun equal length of day and night.
Yes.
Sunrise this side, sunset right behind this pointy rock, and imagine the stone man while he was still standing there, he will have sat right behind the stone man. That's the equal length of the day and night. 21st of June, the shortest day of the year, sunrise this side, sunset between these 2 rocks over there. So basically the sun will never sit further than this in winter.
Yeah.
And it will sit no further than that side in summer. So this is basically
So they could tell exactly where they are in the season.
And by the look of the eye as well, from standing here, this is the shortest distance to here, representing the shortest day of the year.
Yes.
And this is
The longest day of the year.
representing the longest day of the year. So every time the sun goes down, the shadow of this rock is placed on this rock in front. As the sun goes down, the shadow starts at the bottom here and it climbs up and it goes as far as it could, depending on the time of the year. And then it's every time, and then it starts back going up and going that way. They could have marked or written something in the rock that if the shadow falls this far or this way, we do this kind of ceremony, or we do this kind of ritual, or we do this kind of start planting, start harvesting.
Yeah.
Start doing this.
Did you have equinox?
Amazing.
Was there an equinox ceremony here?
Yes, we did.
Was?
Yes, we did have. Actually, it started on the 20th until the 22nd, because
Wow.
we came here on the 19th to drone around here, and then on the 20th we had sunrise.
Can you imagine being here when the sunrise?
We had sunset, and then on the 21st we had sunrise, sunset. On the 22nd we only had to drone for the sunset.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dean Laprini was here. There's a guy from Cape Town.
Dean Laprini was here.
Yeah, I was here with, with the huge group. They did the ceremony on those days. Yes.
Oh.
Next time.
And this is the, as you can see, this is the north and the southern marker. If you look directly above the tree, or just between the tree, you can see the tree on the horizon, which is directly north.
That tree right at the back, eh?
Yes, right at the back. That's where the stone altar is. And it's
Oh,
in line with
right.
the 2 calendar stones.
Oh, right.
This is where
True north.
Now, yes, that's
True north.
That's true north.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Wow. I can't remember that. That's amazing. I didn't realize that last time. That's amazing.
But you will see the rocks over there. I'll just take you now.
Yeah.
No, she just had to go.
Yeah.
She had to go quickly.
And were you here when we found somebody's ashes, right? It's scattered right on top.
Really? No, I wasn't. No.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Somebody came with an urn and actually.
And they scattered it here on.
What, recent or?
Yeah, it's just that you see this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is somebody's ashes. Somebody came here with an urn, poured it right here. So that's some of the things.
I'm sure there's many of those cases.
Yeah, I mean, if it works his way,
Yeah,
his way,
yeah.
I can say this is not my place to control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know who put this rock over here. I only saw it yesterday.
Yeah, no, and I saw one. I see. Yes.
And also did something over here. So it's kind of ceremonies and stuff that people sometimes just walk here and do.
I noticed it.
But it's okay if they don't graffiti the rocks. They can do whatever, utilize
And they've
it.
lost. That is.
There's some stuff there.
It's rose quartz.
Yeah, there's rose quartz, little bit of shells, seashells,
Crystals.
crystals.
Somebody,
Ach, you know if it works for
them,
then it works for them.
whatever. Yes, you can see.
They ask for love. They ask for wild hearts to be opened. They ask for, like Venus, the goddess of love.
All right, that's Ishtar.
Yeah,
That's Ishtar, to Moses' girlfriend.
yes, to arise again or reveal herself or something.
The four other of them are welcome to the ground and sit in whatever rock that you feel you are attracted, because you can make silicone chips out of them. But this is a pure, untapped, natural silicate. You've never seen any kind of machine except for it being brought here. So, yeah, if you look at now we were just from the Easters, Jesus' tomb was closed with some sort of a rock, and people go, like African people, they go into this pile of rocks called graves and talk to them. So they get some information, the rocks can store information. The rocks those information that are to you. So these are the four rocks. 1, 2, 3, and that fourth rock. Now, statistic probabilities of a rock eroding in a sharp point like that naturally
Doesn't happen.
Small number to a billion. So this must have been shaped to point at something, and this rock looks like they actually fell from somewhere around here. This first rock is not in line with the two main calendar stones. This first rock is in line with that small pointy rock on the left of the two main calendar stones, and this one is in line with that broken one, the
Yes.
one, and that one is in line with the third pointy rock. But if you turn around and if you come there, this rock will have been in line with the first pyramid, and this one with the second pyramid.
Yes.
The gap between the pyramid on the right, if you get coordinates and go to Google Earth, you do find that the third pyramid is totally buried underneath before that two mountains.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a pyramid that is buried here. So this rock will have been in line with that rock there.
Yeah.
So if you lift your eyes up in the sky, these are the very same three rocks that will have been in line with the three rising stars of Orion's belt. And what else is in line with Orion's belt? Every pyramid in the world is in line with Orion's belt. So that's why I said earlier, whoever built this structure might have had astronomical knowledge or any knowledge from the stars to navigate or even to worship or to praise something.
You know what I've read, Inos, is that they say, somebody said that the reason they built the pyramids in line with Orion is to show the star people that there's intelligent life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So we or the people that built is showing the star people that we actually know
where to
That
go.
we're intelligent and we know.
Where
Yeah. Giving them a sign.
And
that
there's also
that
these three
people know
planets
that-
on these three pyramids on other planets. They found pyramids on Mars.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same.
You know why they call the pyramids in Mars? When the Anunnakis arrived here to mine gold,
Yes.
they didn't process the gold themselves.
No.
They shipped it to Mars,
Yes.
another species of
Station.
Anunnakis called Igigis.
Yeah.
They were the processors before shipping the gold to Nibiru to fix the ozone.
Yes. Yes.
So those pyramids might have been built as landing stations from planet Earth to there for processing. That's the reason.
Definitely some
why
energy
they
source was used.
Yes. The only reason they actually didn't use it after the flood is that Mars was filled with water after the flood, and it was inconducive of any human habitation. So
Mars, eh?
yes, so they couldn't live there. The Igigis couldn't live there to process.
Then
Then before they were coming here, while there was still this lot of floods, the sky that we were trying to fix cracked.
Okay.
So they needed more gold to fix the gap now. That's when Nyasan, who was Enki's second child, he was a scientist and an architect.
Yes.
He designed the pyramid for sure of Giza and put big crystals that reflected light back to Nibiru so that the landing could actually happen in the pyramids. They would take the raw gold. They would knew how to process it themselves.
Yeah.
They led over the decades, over the
Yes.
to process the gold. So they actually just directly ship straight to their planet, process it there, and fix their ozone layer. That's why there's this belief in the pyramids that the pharaohs were buried with gold so that they can take it to the next day.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. It started all the way back there, where they knew that these pyramids were not only there as burial chambers.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were some sort of beaming devices.
Energy.
Something from here to somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
That's as far as
Yeah.
how I
Yeah,
understand
it's,
it.
it's right. I understand it.
And they found the, ormus, the powder,
Yes.
and what they make from the gold. They found that in the pyramids, so they actually think that maybe they make the powder that's from the gold
Yes.
that they use to fix also in the pyramid.
They might have started processing it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's also possible.
Yeah.
Now, this is the fourth rock, which is our Horus, the Egyptian god. If you look at how it's beautifully carved, squarish, and you find this, it's an eagle falcon kind of a bird.
Yeah.
You find this chest, well-rounded neck, a well-rounded head, with a beak that might have been this long or even longer. Probably with facial features that peeled or eroded as the years goes by. Then maybe with the eye of a Horus or something. You lift this rock straight up, it's directly in line with the 2 calendar stones and the stone man at the back.
Yeah.
So there were the 4 giant monoliths in line.
Yeah.
If you go to Egypt and ask them what marks the rise of the sun in the pyramids, Horus marks the rise of the sun in the pyramids, and what Horus is doing also is overlooking Orion, just like it's happening here. Who is Horus? Is Marduk, is the sun god. In the early